Hey, I'm back. I got a lighting kit, a standard lighting kit from my sponsor Kirby. She's stink bug. Yuck. She's got just the two small continuous lighting umbrellas. I had to replace one of the bulbs, so one's a little bit less dim than the other one. This is a 45-watt bulb, and this is a 40-watt bulb. This is a CLF bulb, and then this is an LED that I'll be working with tonight. The temperature on these are, this one's listed at 5,500, and this one is natural daylight, which is about 5,500. So that's what I have. If you get soft white, the soft whites are going to be very yellow. So just be aware if you ever have to replace your bulbs and you think you're going to run to the hardware store and grab something, they're going to be much yellower. Actually, if you look at our lights over here, like our household lights, they're very yellow. Those are the soft white. So just to keep the lighting temperatures in perspective, you want something that's a true natural daylight temperature light, not a soft white. So once again, I got my mannequin set up. I've got my umbrellas set up. I'm going to take a picture. I think I'm going to need to drop it for the leggings, but I wanted to work first, and so you guys could work with me. Haven't really done anything. Today I just set my camera to the auto mode. I know last time when I talked about it, since I was using the flashes, I had done my own stuff, so I just set it to, if you just turned on your camera, put it on auto mode, that's all I'm going to be working with today. So let's start from there. I'm actually going to choke up on this umbrella just a little bit. Typically I like to have my umbrella a lot further away, but since these bulbs are not very bright, I'm actually going to choke up on the umbrella stand so I can get in a little bit closer, and the light isn't going to have to do as much work to make everything bright. So if you see, I'm really close for my mannequin. Maybe if you look down there at the floor,
that's
from
the light, and that's
the base of the mannequin to the base of my umbrella light stand, maybe 1.5 feet on both sides. So once again, I'm looking at the point of one umbrella to the mannequin and the point of the other umbrella to the mannequin. It's about 45 degrees. So I just choked in. I've got my camera set on manual all around. Let me make sure. Yes. Automatic all around. So there is everything on here. It's a little bit slower shutter speed, and my depth of field is going to be a little bit lower like I talked about before, but those are the sacrifices I would have to make because these lights are just not as strong as my off-camera flashes are. It is it's nighttime, it's pretty dark out. I'm going to drop this one flash a little bit and bring it in a little bit closer as well. So I'm pretty close to my mannequin, and I'm just standing right in between the two and shooting. I want that light as nice and bright as possible. So there's my picture. It's okay. And then I would just go in a little bit closer and take my close-up picture for colors and the sake of colors. And I will go ahead and upload these afterwards onto my computer so you guys can see what everything looks like. So that's my first pair that I did. Notice I have the umbrellas facing forward. If you're flipping them backwards, you're actually going to be lighting your ceiling. You're not really lighting your mannequin. So always flip them forward, have the light as close as possible. photograph. This is a new Irma. And the thing I'm having difficulty with on this is the fact that the light just doesn't spread like my flashes as much. So when I show the pictures up on the computer, you'll see what I'm talking about. The light just is dropping off on the bottom of the shirt.
Mm-hmm. It's on the screen right there.
Yeah.
So.
And one last pair.
Leggings.
The last thing I'm going to do is I am actually going to turn my flash on. I don't have a on-camera flash like a lot of people do. This is actually the same flash that I used in the other video. They were actually it was just mounted on stands. I'm going to put it on my camera. I'm not going to have it facing forward because it's going to cause a lot of shadows. It's going to hit all these umbrellas and create shadows onto the product of the umbrellas themselves. So I'm going to bounce it off the ceiling and see how that acts to begin with. No. Yep, and this is still causing shadows. I think if it was daytime, it might not be as big of a deal, but because it's nighttime, it's just grabbing more shadows than. No, that one's not too bad. Just a little bit more fill in here than before. All right, so that's it. So these are just the two bulbs. You can see how close I have everything to it. They're pointed toward the mannequin at a 45-degree angle. Trying to think of any other ways. I know some people were talking about, looking at a diagram, and some people light, sideways. I just don't. I think if you've got a stronger lamp, you'd be okay, but it's dark out, so we're not having any of the fill light from before. I've got two sets of windows on either side of me in the house, but because it's nighttime, I'm not getting any of that extra fill. So you can optically just see, sticking the lamps behind, you're not lighting anything except behind your mannequin. If we had a lamp in the front, throwing more light in front of it, yes, that would be fine. But with this setup, a 2-light setup, we don't have that. I know there's some people that were asking, I know some of the kits come with a 3rd light, a very small, low to the ground light. That light is for portrait lighting. It's called a hair light. So it's to cause separation of your product from the background. instead of putting it in the front where it's really meant to go, is behind here, so that you've got some separation, lighting separation, especially if you've got a dark object on a dark background, it would separate the two. Hence, if you're a dark-haired person getting pictures done, portraits done in like a dark gray or a black background, your hair would not just fall into the background. It would give some separation. So really, I would do, for this lighting setup, 1 and 1. And then if you wanted to stick one behind it for separation, I mean, you could still use it as fill, but technically that's not what it's for. It's a small hair light. All right, so I think that's it for now. I'm gonna go upload and record, look at the pictures so you can see what they look like online, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, thanks. I let the camera, I just put it on auto mode for everything. It shows the white balance, it shows the camera settings. So I'm just going through these pictures right now to look at them. Let's see, I'm pulling, this was the first one that I took. Why can I not? Is it not letting me? Oh, here it is, sorry. So I'm gonna blow everything up. If you remember last time, my pictures are really, really crisp and clean. These just, because the light isn't there, they just aren't as crisp and clean. So that one I took, let's see how this one looks. Some parts of it are crisper and cleaner, but because it had to be shot with a lower aperture, there was a lot more fallout in the picture than in order to let more light into the diaphragm, into the camera sensor. So that was the first two that I took. This one is the next one. This is what I was talking about, the fallout at the bottom of the picture. This one's a little bit sharper, but you can see as I go down, like, because it's not in the same plane of focus as up here. I think my camera focused, if I remember correctly, in this area. Right here, as you go down the shirt, it's actually not in focus because it's behind that plane of focus. So that is that one. Let's see what the next one. I think I just snapped two of the same thing. Here's the close-up right here. Color-wise, actually, everything, color-wise, everything looks good. It's just not as sharp. It might bother some of you to not have as sharp. Some of you are like, it doesn't matter, it's not going to affect my sales. And you know, it just depends on where you fall and what your comfort level is. This one's a little bit better in focus. I think there's more areas that my focus could fall, grab and lock onto. Still a little underexposed. Let me see what I can do. I wasn't sure if I could. Yeah, because I don't have aperture on here to show some basic editing. I would probably brighten this, make it much whiter. And let's see, here's this one. Yeah, see, this one's still out of focus. Just because there's just not the amount of light. This one, this is what I was talking about. I had the bounce, I had my flash on for this one. This is the shadows right here from the flash, the shadow in the back from the mannequin. I think I just repositioned the flash on top of my camera. So it wasn't catching those items. I think I had it pointed straight up, so it was not affecting. And this picture is actually much better having that extra light. So I really do think some of the problem is that the 45 watt lights are just not bright enough. So like I said, this is a 45 watt kit. Let me pull up, and this is the close. Sorry, this is the close up of using my on camera flash. Let me pull up what the cost of the, because I know when I was looking earlier, it was saying lighting kit. It was giving some different options. All right, so this is the 3-piece kit. 86. Okay, so these are 3 45-watt bulbs. I still don't think it's really bright enough for the clothing to get the quality and the colors that you want. I thought I saw one that was a 60-watt kit. Let's see what this one is. Hey Grace, can you get me my power cord real quick? Sorry about that. I need my power cord. My laptop's about to die. So these are 45 watts again. Now these are much brighter. These ones here are 105 watt bulbs. So these might actually work a little bit better than what I am using. Let's see what else I got. These are softbox video kits, video lights. Yeah, here's the Cowboy Studio with the 45 watts. Let me see if you can get replacement bulbs. And see what the cost on those are. Yeah, so it's not, these are 85 watts, so that would be much, much brighter. 105 watts. $105, about $12 a bulb. Here's a 45 watt bulb, and those are 12. So I would say if you can up it, I would definitely, personally, I would up it. You can always control. It's easier to have more light than not enough light. Yeah, this one's 105. Yep. So that would be my suggestion. Just go ahead and if you can just to replace your bulbs, swap them out to the 105 watt bulb. I'm wondering even if like Home Depot would have brighter watt CFL bulbs. Yeah, and it looks like they do. They've got a 60 watt. You don't want soft white, you're going to want daylight, and that's probably going to be the hardest thing, is getting the right temperature. You want natural daylight, not soft white. 60 watt, yeah, so there's plenty out here. I mean, there's a 12 pack for $24, so you can definitely find them and don't have to order them online. Alrighty, I think that is it.